So hey everyone, is Barkat here. Welcome to our marketing show, and this is episode one. And I am excited to introduce today's guest is Ronald Osborne. So if you don't know who is Ronald is a founder of a SEO agency called Osborne Digital Marketing, which was awarded top-rated, Florida B2B SEO agency in 2022. Also he is also a great, business coach offering a wide range of business consulting services. On top of that, he is a co-founder of two SaaS companies, one of which is called Rain Lightning. Also, Ronald runs a popular YouTube channels where he shares valuable contents on SEO and marketing stuff. As of now, his channel has impressive 77,000 subscribers. I will link his channel below so that my viewer can check it out. So, Ronald, could you give us a quick intro about yourself? And if I missed anything, feel free to add.
Geez, I don't know how I'm going to top that, but Kat. So thank you very much, my friend. Yeah, mate, that's pretty much it. Long story
Uh-huh.
short. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, look, for me, the way I got into marketing, I guess I'll cover on that point because that's what the theme for today is. I got into marketing because I was a businessman. So I had a telecom company. I had 30 employees doing that. I was doing the multiple millions in that. And
Mm-hmm.
then I had a lot of friends asking me, bro, how? How did you do this? How, like, how? You? How?
Mm-hmm.
So then what happened was I started to help my friends out to grow their companies. But then at the same time, in the process of trying to grow
Mm-hmm.
companies, you need leads. So we're sitting there going, okay, well, what are we doing here? We've got the infrastructure, we've got the idea, we've got this, we've got that. How do we get the phone to ring? And that was what started me on the marketing journey. So I'd already made my millions in telecom before I made a cent in digital marketing.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for sharing this. So, I have a couple of questions for you, and so I will just, go through all of the SEO process, like how you do the SEO stuff, like to rank, plus, if someone wants to start a SEO journey or maybe, establish a SEO agency or something like this, how they can start. So my first question to you is like, as you mentioned that, the journey already. So my question is like, what were the biggest challenges, you faced in the beginning phase when you started your SEO journey or maybe marketing journey?
Yeah, I'll tell you a real funny one. The first time
Uh-huh.
started
Sure.
for me, like to be honest, bro. Like, look, I'm an Aussie. I don't care all this skin color nonsense. You just got to be truthful. Like, if you were to chat with an American right now, it's going to be hard for you. The first time that I faced difficulty was when I was engaging with Yanks. Right, so I still remember one call that I got off. Like, I was back in Dubai. So I was over there and I had a client call with someone. And this guy had a construction company that they built a lot of towers, like a big property developer. And got in
Mhm.
there, got through. The marketing manager loved me, loved everything, loved the proposal. It was time to sit down in front of the owner. When they
Mhm.
ended the call and I could still hear, they didn't turn it off properly. And I could still hear their talks. They're like, he's got a great pitch. And then the old Yank came over the top and was just straight up like, I don't like his accent and I don't like that there's not hair. So, so bro, like, man, I've copped it all, dude. I've copped it all. Like, and everyone will. Everyone will. So I think like the biggest challenges is just getting going. There's always going to be adversity at the
Mhm.
start, whether it be you can't get the leads for yourself, whether there's guys like that, it's just like, hey, like he just doesn't like Aussies for some reason. Okay, fair enough,
Mhm.
no worries. That's just how it is. So I think a lot of people when they open up, start their agency, just be ready for the challenges. The main thing is persistency and then trying to identify where you can overcome those hurdles. So instead of me being all butthurt and be like, oh, this evil racist Yank, like, no, it's like, okay, well, why doesn't he like me? Okay, so he probably just wants to work with Yanks.
Mhm.
How could have I have closed that deal better? Maybe I should have had a Yank on the call. That's what I should have done. So it's like these little things that people are just going to have to think about to overcome those types of obstacles.
Mhm. Yeah, got it actually. Yeah, same thing actually happened, with me as well.
Yeah, man.
Like when I started with clients working, like there are few people actually like, I don't want to say they're kind of racist or something, but
It's
like
just, yeah,
excuse me, yeah, excuse me for my
who
language.
cares,
So
bro?
yeah,
Like it's like,
yeah,
you Bangladesh, aren't you? Like you're from
yeah,
Bangladesh? Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah. I'm
what is
from.
this Bangladeshi talking to me for? What's going on?
Uh,
It's like, who cares, man? The
yeah.
main thing is at the end of the day is just trying to identify like what are the trust barriers, and trying to just
Mm-hmm.
overcome that. So again, like main thing is like whether it be that type of attitude from people or anything else, there's going to be adversity in any sort, and you're just going to have to overcome it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Agree. 100% agree. Yeah. And so I have one more question for you. So, as far as I know that, like I started my career as a SEO expert as well. So as far as I know that SEO is like often a long-term investment. Like how do you manage, clients' expectations when results are not immediate? Like, how do you deal with these kind of things?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because it sucks.
Yeah.
So look, everyone, let's be completely honest here. Every
Mhm.
single client
Uh-huh.
contacts an SEO agency because they want leads, and they want leads today, not tomorrow, not possibly in 6 months. So that's a
Mhm.
really, really difficult thing for a lot of SEOs to overcome
Mhm.
is they have to be able to sit the client down and just be like, listen, what I would suggest is that we're not going to have the phone ring for at least 3 months. I personally say 3 months. I say 3 to 6 months. I never say immediately. Even if their website's been around for 10 years, even if they've got all the pieces and there's just a few little tweaks I need to, I still say 3 months because it gives you that room. So I think the main thing that they need to do is make sure they've got cushion room, because if they sit there and say 1 month, 2 months to make a client happy so they'll work with them, then you're just going to put more stress on yourself. Straight up say 3 months and then explain to the client why it is 3 months. So you just sit there and say it's 3 months because Google takes this long to see changes. Google takes this long to evaluate who's
Mhm.
better and who's not. It normally takes 60 sort of days once you build a backlink for Google to properly see it and factor it in, especially if you do some tier 2 links. Those are the types of things that need to be taken into consideration. So the main thing is just stressing to the clients like, hey, this is the journey of SEO. If this ride isn't suitable for you, exit left because it's
Mhm.
not right. It's about
Mhm.
the longer term vision. The other thing that I'd stress too is if they're sitting there really stressed out, look at Google Ads. Be saying, hey,
Yeah.
look, you've got to work with Google Ads. And if you need leads tomorrow within that 3 month window, look at Google Ads.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Understood. Yeah. So yeah, like, this is the like the like most important thing. Like when you onboard a client, you need to set the client's expectations. Same thing happened with us as well, like as a Google Ad expert. So when we onboard a client, we need to sit down with the client and set our expectations, like realistic, like realistic expectations. It's not like that, I am saying that, hey, give me five grand and I will send you like 100 leads. you
Yes.
know it's not like that.
That doesn't
So yeah.
exist.
Yeah. I wish it could.
Inshallah, it'll be awesome.
So yeah, and like, what are the most common SEO mistakes you see actually, like when you start working with the real clients, like a business owners? What types of mistakes like generally do, or they just generally make on the website?
So mistakes that clients or SEOs make
Oh, on the clients actually, not the SEO.
on the client, the
Yeah.
clients,
Mm-hmm.
definitely the biggest mistake is the over assumption that SEO is going to solve all of their problems. So,
Mm-hmm.
like for me, a big ranking factor that I like, and I'll give it away on this, is you got to make sure that your social profiles have a lot of likes, a lot of follows.
Yeah.
Like it's very important that you have a channel. So if you can do that for your client, you got to do that. But whether you acquire those likes or the client genuinely wants to build up real
Mm-hmm.
likes, real engagement, yeah, that's up to the client. And the client sometimes they don't understand that it's this SEO is really a holistical picture. That's how I look at it. And that's why I kind of like doing the partnerships that I do, because I get to operate on that holistical approach compared
Mm-hmm.
to just being like just the stock standard SEO. So I think the
Mm-hmm.
clients really struggle with the fact of they think, oh, once I'm up the top of Google, that's it. I don't need to do it. All of my problems will be solved. That's not the case. And especially I've worked with a lot of clients that suck at selling, like suck. They absolutely
Mm-hmm.
suck. Like there's no point in doing SEO until they've at least sat down. Like, honestly, I would say out of everyone I've worked with, a third of them, I need to consult on how to sell. A third, because they
Oh.
just don't know. Like it's the truth. Like it's whenever I start hearing the complaint, oh, I'm getting the leads, but they're not that good. It's like, bro, you're never going to get better leads than from ranking well with SEO on Google. You're never going to get
Mm.
a a better lead than that. So what's the problem here? So then you might put on call track, and then all of a sudden you hear, yeah, who's this? Bro, you can't answer the phone like that. So again, that holistical approach
Yeah.
is like they might be getting the leads, but then they don't know how to close them. They don't know how to approach them properly because they've maybe never dealt with that volume before or that amount of lead volume.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're definitely the points that hurt
Yeah.
the clients a lot.
Yeah. Clients always complains.
Yes.
I know that, like it happened with me multiple times, clients always complains, lead are not good, we are not converting. So, hey, this is not our job to close your job, like
Yes.
close your real job. So this is your job to close the clients, not me, as a Google Ad expert. So what I can do is I can just send the Google, like qualified lead from Google Ad, and we can qualify these, like using, there are like lots of CRMs, we can qualify them through CRM, but this
Mhm.
is not our job to close your job. So yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, and
And
that's
said,
and
yeah,
that's
it's okay.
that's where it's a bit hard. That's where I see
Yeah.
like a lot of the clients can kind of
Mm.
fall off. As soon as you're here, I'd say like biggest thing I'd say to the listeners, as soon as you start to hear these leads are not qualified from Google ads or a SEO campaign, you need to stick call tracking on to see what they're doing because they're
Yeah,
fluffing about.
we are using call tracking metrics, for all of our clients, because that's
Excellent.
that's why, we can hear all of the phone calls actually, like what they're saying, what's the things, like they're asking for, like all of these things. Yeah. Yeah. I got your point. And like I would like to, like, what's your main approach, when it comes to SEO? Like when you started working with a new client, how you develop this whole, like content plan, or the SEO plan for a new client.
Yep. So mainly for us, the way I've been finding a lot of success is the topical maps. So I put
Mm.
out a video, would have been maybe, I don't know, maybe a month ago now, about topical maps, how we do it with AI, because it's just
Mm-hmm.
super easy. Like it's super
Mm-hmm.
easy. And that has been killing it for us, especially with local. So I don't do national. So there's one business that I'm doing national stuff on. Man, that's a different kettle of fish. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the hardest things I've ever done. And to be honest, it does suck because it's a completely different approach where with local, it's all about being hyper focused on the local area. And you can do that with a topical map. So it's like everything, you're blanketing an area, talking about everything. It's hard for Google to sit there and not be like, yeah, this guy's definitely in Miami. He's talking about everything Miami. Okay, easy. It's done. So that's what I try to focus on at the start. Also building the brand. So I've been saying this for years to everyone, and everyone was years ago saying that I was a little bit crazy. But again, look at what's happening now. Google's or the biggest thing I'd stress to everyone, and maybe this is why I look at this industry differently, is because just think logically. If you're a business owner, what do you got to do? You got to try and make things simple. If I was Google, if I'm an executive at Google, I've got to think, okay, well, how do I save money? What's the
Yeah.
fastest thing that I can do to save money? Well, what we could do, a real business is going to have real links from real credible assets that we deem credible because we've been around for years. We've already deemed what
Mm-hmm.
websites are credible. So if they're a good business, they should have links from this. That's Haro. That's the
Yeah.
press release. That's all of that stock standard stuff is how it should be, and it's truly logical as well. If a business was to go out there and get featured on the news would talk about, oh, these guys, let's just say they invented a new eco tile or eco shingle. It's made of moss, something
Mm-hmm.
crazy like that, right? For roofers. Of course, the press is going to pick them up. And then all of a sudden, other backlinks are going to come in, and maybe it'll get picked up in a big, credible thing, and then that's it. Like that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like trying to build. I like trying to build it where it's natural. I don't like the approach of, I don't like doing all the black hatty sort of stuff where it's just crazy embeds and you're doing this link wheels and
Mm-hmm.
like all of that nutsness. I don't involve myself in that. The main thing that I involve myself is make it look natural. There is definitely CTR, like the other tool that I part own is a CTR tool. So there
Yeah, CDR
definitely is that.
manipulations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there definitely is that aspect to it because it is a ranking factor. But I do think like as long as you do the basics that look natural, plus you'll be fine.
You know what? So I saw something like, people are ranking without backlinks. So, it depends on the locations, it depends on the keyword, difficulty, everything. But do you think is this possible to rank without backlink? I mean, without any
100%.
backlink?
I did it, bro. I did it. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I beat what? Like if you look at I think I don't know what it's like now. It's probably quite a few links, but maybe if you go back in SEMrush or something like that, even throw it into Rank
mhm.
Lightning, the keyword that I rank for, like carpet cleaning SEO, I rank no, I beat everyone
SEO.
else. All those
Yeah,
guys, they were
I
there.
checked it. Yeah,
Ahrefs, all
yeah,
of them
HVAC
trying to
SEO.
go
Yeah,
after
roofing
it.
SEO. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was like zero. So the main
Mm-hmm.
thing is, and this is exactly why in our tool that I built when we do the competitor analysis, you got to be able to look at the domain as well, because I
Mm.
built up that trust and authority in my domain. So when I threw that up, Google was like, "That's Osborne Digital Marketing. These guys know what they're talking about. Here you go. Here you go, guys." So then
Mm-hmm.
it was just tweaking the on page and making it better and better and better. And that's something that's really beneficial when you've got a powerful website, which extends
Mm.
on to the point that I was talking about just previously. The authority of your website, super important.
Yeah. So basically, we're saying that the domain authority, I mean, the website authority is this is the most important thing when it comes
100%.
to
To me, it
like
is.
ranking organically. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to me, it is. Like I will not work with anyone unless they're willing to pay for Haro links. If a client comes
Okay.
to, I don't care if they're like, nah, I will not be featured in that. I don't want to be it, then I'll tell them to go away.
Okay. Mm. I got it. Like this is the most, I think this is the most important thing, like, in terms of the building a brand. Like Google is saying this is not a website, this is a kind of brand, right?
Mm.
Google is saying from that perspective. Yeah, I got it point. So yeah, like another question, like how, like let's say, like me as a client right now, like I am just talking with you. So, and I want to be a SEO client, and how can I do like this is my fresh domain. Like I don't have any backlinks, I don't have any like like proper interlink, anything on on my website. So how do you analyze my website, and like how do you approach SEO for my website?
Yep. Yeah, I'll surmise it pretty succinctly.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing I'd be doing is getting the topical map built. So let's just say
Mm-hmm.
again, it's about a roofing company. You're a roofer. Main thing for
Mm-hmm.
me is it's just boom, 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 covering all of the topics, shingle, slate,
Mm-hmm.
tile, whatever it may be, going
Mm-hmm.
into depth on that, creating all of that content out first, doing all of that. Then do your citations. So definitely launch all of your citations because again,
Mm-hmm.
that's a signal to Google, credible asset. They're on BBB. Only a real business is going to have that. So doing
Mm-hmm.
all of that, press release, really important. I do a
Mm-hmm.
premium press release. So when you're getting the referral links in, like I do think that that's super important, but the main thing is that credibility. And then
Mm-hmm.
from there, just building backlinks, but also Haros. Now, there is like I personally, from what I've seen, I like building, let's say that you analyze your competitor. Again, let's just say you're trying to rank for roofing Miami. Let's say you have a look at your competitor. Your competitor to get up there, you need to build 100 backlinks. Let's 100
Mm-hmm.
referring domains, let's say. The way I look at that is I like trying to build the 100 referring domains. I like trying to build that and then build quality from there. When I say quality, I mean like Haros, everything. The reason for that and the reason I approach it that way is because my domain already should have a lot of power to it. So
Mm-hmm.
they're the ways that I try to approach it, and I try to approach it with an exact, if not more, match of referring domains, and then add the power on top of that.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's like sounds like a great plan. Yeah. I like I just like get write down all of these things so that I can learn something from
Yeah,
today's sessions. To be honest with you, you know.
awesome, brother.
Uh-huh. Uh, and like, how do you see the connections between the SEO and Google Ads, and how do you use them together in marketing? So let's say, as you mentioned before, that when it comes to the like like the customers or the clients needs immediately, I mean the leads immediately, and you recommend the Google Ads. So how do you see this connection between the SEO and Google Ads?
Yeah, so that's another great question. So, firstly, for me, if the client's really stressed about leads immediately, if you say, "Hey, it's three
Uh-huh.
months," and they're sitting there
Uh-huh.
going, "No, no, 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 Ronnie, it can't be 3 months, please, like,
Mm-hmm.
please, not 3 months."
Mm-hmm.
Run Google Ads. Very, very important. Another time where it's great to run Google Ads is, let's say your SEOs, again, it's still just not quite there, run Google Ads. The other time that I like using Google Ads is when you're sitting on the fence about SEO. Because if you run Google Ads, you can figure out real quick, fast, and in a hurry for $1,000 if something's going to work or not. But if you sit there and say, yes, I want to do SEO, you better be damn sure that it's going to work. Because if you're sitting on the fence going, I'm a roofer out in Sebring, there's 20 searches a month. Is it really 20 searches or is that other SEOs? Maybe it's best to just start, like with as an example, a PPC campaign. Because if that works, you start getting leads through Google. Beautiful. Okay, SEO is going to work. That's when I like using Google Ads as well.
And in terms of budgets, like let's say, one client, like came to you that, they just mentioned that they don't have enough budget to run, Google ad. Then how do you approach, this client? And also they don't want to wait for 3 or 6 months, but they want to run Google ads, but they don't have much budget. So how do you approach, in this scenario? Like,
that's for done, you mate. Have a good day. No.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, one line answer, Have a good day. Yeah.
Masalama.
Because like there is a reason actually, like I'm asking this question because like I am facing these issues a lot. People came to me and said that we want to run Google ads, but we don't have much budget. So I am thinking like how I can close this client, like how, like what should be the standard budget structure that I can say that you need to spend X amount of money to get X amount of lead from the Google. So it's it's a confusing phase for me. I don't know how to answer them. So most of the time I just gently reply, if you don't have much budget, yeah, I'm sorry, kind of things. But yeah, I think people, like, I don't know why people are saying this. People always complain. I mean, the clients always complain that they don't have much budget. But when I like audit their account, or maybe they ran Google ad previously, I saw that they waste a bunch of money on Google ads, like crazy amount of money. So one example is like I have one client actually right now. So the previous company, they ran Google ads, so I think they spent more than 15 grand and they didn't get any conversions from Google ads. And when I got this client and they just, like asked me, hey, but we spent lots of money on Google ads. We didn't get any conversions. We don't have any money. We don't have any budget to run Google ads now. I said that, I audited your account and I saw that, this kind of issues on the Google ads. So why you waste this amount of money? And just right now you're asking that you don't have much money to run Google ads, and I convinced these clients, and I think I sit down with these clients for 3 times. Like I had to convince these clients clearly what's the expectations, what you can expect, and clients is happy right now. And I think I am working with this client more than 4 months right now.
Nice.
Yeah, he's happy. Yeah, he's happy. So yeah, like this is the most important thing. Like when I onboard a Google Ad client, especially, uh, the expectations. I need to set the expectation with the clients, like what they want from me. By spending X amount of budget. Same thing I believe, with you as well, like in terms of SEO, SEO expectation, set the expectation. Again, my question is like, how do you set the expectation? Like, I know that the process and everything we discussed, but my question is, specifically, do you, like, mention any types of things like you will get X amount of lift the SEO? Do you mention any types of things?
I try to, but for me, I'm going to be completely honest, as probably everyone in my audience knows, like I'm pretty straight to the point. And I do say, like, I don't win them all, especially with SEO. Like, I do not win them all. I win probably 75% of the times, being completely honest and accurate. And if any SEO out there says I win 100% of the time, go work with them. Let's see how it goes. So at the end of the day, SEO doesn't succeed all of the time. And you have to just be honest with people up front. But the thing and the reason why I love SEO is because out of every other marketing, man, the ROI I've seen on it has been astronomical for some people.
Yeah.
I have blown my mind at the money and the returns we've brought in from SEO compared to everything else. Like the reason I didn't get like and stick around in PPC was because when I was first starting my journey was because I was like, wait, where's the $5,000 gone? Like, okay, we got two people, but like, where's my asset? Where am I just spent $5,000. Like, what, like, I've got a landing page, like it was, I was kind of flabbergasted by it. I was like, if this works, then why is it, like, why is the return diminishing and all of, where with SEO, like I was saying, like my first ever SEO client that I ever worked with. So it was $1,500 I was getting paid. By the end of the campaign, it was 8 months later, he was getting $35,000 in a month. And I'm sitting here going, I got paid $1,500 and I'm making him 35 grand a month. What's going on here? So like I saw the astronomical returns immediately.
Yeah.
Like I obviously saw it for my own stuff first, but then I saw it for a client and I was like, I've missed out here. So that's why I started doing a lot of business partnerships too,
Mm,
because I was just sitting there going, I've just made this guy an absolute killing. I'd
yeah.
never seen anything return like that for anyone on anything before. And I was like, okay, there's a big opportunity here for money to be made. So I think the main thing is, as long as people are just sitting there, really aware of what can go right and really aware of what could go wrong, it's okay. You've got to find that middle point and be like, okay, well, typically speaking, this is what you could stand to achieve if we were able to do well with the campaign. And you just be honest and upfront. And the client doesn't like it, so be it. It's the wrong client. Alhamdulillah, God was
Agree.
like, no, this isn't for you. Okay, next. Though he'll put the right one in front of you and you'll just crack on from there.
100% agree. Yeah. Yeah. It's a great thought actually, like people are not honest nowadays, like they are like, making lots of fake promises. I will do
Yes.
this, I will do this, I blah blah blah. Like, yeah, I think, yeah, this is a great thought. I like, especially
Can't make
I
any
like that actually.
promises
Yeah.
in SEO, brother.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Like,
Yeah.
oof.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, if someone wants to learn SEO, so what would you recommend to help them to learn easily? So let's say, like I want to learn the SEO from scratch and I don't know anything about the SEO. Like, what should I do? Without paying any types of like crazy paid courses. I know that there are lots of SEO gurus. They are paying. I mean, they are like selling their courses 5 grand, 10 grand. Coaching consultant. I don't have money to purchase all of these things, right? So what do you recommend actually, to learn SEO from scratch, and how long it will take, the process,
Yeah.
the learning club.
So Osborne Digital Marketing, YouTube, like go nuts. I basically covered everything on there.
Mhm.
So that's good, and it's free, like you just said. It's
Yeah,
free,
it's a
Buket. So
promotion.
yeah, it's literally free. Like that's the
Yeah.
biggest way I look at it. Look, paid courses are great because what paid courses do and what they should do, unfortunately, I think today they are failing in what they were used to do,
Hmm.
and they succinctly tie in knowledge all in one place. Like that was the purpose of a paid course. I've got no dramas paying thousands of dollars, and I'm sure most people wouldn't. If you know, okay, I'm going to spend $5,000, but this is going to get me a return of 50. Everyone's going to take that. I don't give a damn. Like anyone will do that. But the thing is, like courses nowadays, it's just all the same stuff that's out there on YouTube. So it's kind of
Mm.
rubbish. Like there's no real examples. So that's why that's why I went after all the crazy keywords and beat all of the biggest guys, was because I needed to be able to sit there and be like, hey, I'm different. Like I'm an SEO that actually ranks for SEO terms, guys. Like, hey, I'm that guy. That's why I did it. And that was what helped get me to notoriety. Another thing that's good for people to really learn is like, whilst you're watching the YouTube videos and learning about it, set up a website. Just set up a website, start playing with it, because it was actually by mistake or, by God's will, I learnt how to do SEO through our own websites. I mean, you change something, you're like, you're like, oh no, what's it? Like, Ronnie, the phone hasn't rung for a week. You're like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, no, you jump on there, it's like website gone, man. I remember one website, I moved a file on I have no idea about the hosting, right? I moved the file on the hosting. I was like, oh, yeah, move this
Oh,
stuff around. They've said to move this. Website gone. No idea. Didn't know
crazy.
for an entire week. For an entire week, man. Like, and they're like,
Oh
how's
my
it all going? It's like,
goodness.
Ronnie, we've had no phone calls for a week. What's going on? What? You're like dead for a week, brother. Have a look. It's like, oh, where's the website? So it's like you'll make
Oh
those
my.
mistakes on your own things, and that's always good too. Because if I made that mistake on a client, it's like, dude, I'd be, they'd come after you then. But at least if you can make those mistakes on your own websites, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, understood. Yeah, understood. And like in this, like, in this modern era, I know that, like, still AI content works. So
Yeah,
how do you
very
see
well.
the AI content, like, like in terms of, publishing a pages, if I want to rank for a competitive term. So would you recommend to, write content through AI,
Yep.
or there should be like human touch? Like human touch, I mean, like you need to, you know, rewrite this content again, the AI content. So which you will suggest actually?
So I think a bit of both. So
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be able to get away with a lot more full on AI once you have
Uh-huh.
your domain has the authority. Once it has the authority, go nuts. Just Zim writer, copy and paste, baby, away she'll go. Like she'll be fine. But if you don't have the authority, don't do that. Like you'll have to get it out of Zim writer. That you would then have to edit the headers. You have to tweak a few little things, move it around, beef up the density as an example. All these small little things you're going to have to do. Make sure add custom images. All of these kinds will still need to be done whilst your site's new. But if your site is a
Mm-hmm.
bit older, it's been around for a few years, it's got the authority. Like if you got a couple of really good links coming into it, you can get away with a lot more.
Mm-hmm. And one more question actually, like for you. So how do you do the backlink audit? Like let's say I want to rank, a page for a competitive, let's say roofing SEO, for example.
Mhm.
And I saw that, like what I typically do actually, like, I'm not a SEO expert to be honest, but yeah, what I typically do actually, I just, like see my competitors, what types of, I mean, what types of page, I mean, what types of content they wrote on the pages first. And second is how many backlinks they have on specific pages. Let's say I don't count any domain, I mean, backlinks. I always count the referring domain. So let's say, first website is, I mean, has, let's say six referring domain. Second, has maybe 10 or 15, and third maybe 50 or something. So I calculate all of them and divide by three. So is this is the right, plan to
Yeah,
do a
I
backlink
like the
audit or?
median. Yeah, I like the
Mm,
median. So you would be sort of going with that 20 point because it's,
mm,
like the average is good, but I like when we're dealing with limited numbers to
mm,
be utilizing the median. So it's like right in the middle point because then I know I
mm,
can sit there and be like, ah. But what I do now, it's no longer the in the old days. When I say old days, it's like 2 months ago. but like nowadays when I'm looking at things, so especially like as an example, like that's why we built the competitor analysis tool in Rank Lightning, because I need to be able
mm,
to see, I have to be able to see that, okay, they've got, the 6, 15, and was it 50, that I see that. Okay, cool. We've looked at that on that page, on that specific page for those
mm,
keywords. But what's their domain level like? If their domain is just boosting, brother. Like, you're talking 3,000, 8,000, 50,000. You're like, it's not the fact that you're going to only need 20 links. Like that's going to be most likely a dream. They're there on their authority. And immediately, like that's what I can start to tell now. So the days of just being able to send the links into that page to, be the same, they're still there. I'm not saying that's dead, but
mm,
what I suggest is you build in those 20 links, you build in a
mm.
couple of banger links into that. And then if she's not moving, you know that you've got to build up the authority of your domain overall.
Okay. Yeah. It's a good point. Yeah. Hmm. Basically, like right now, domain authority is this is the biggest factor I can say,
Yep.
when it
For
comes
me,
to
it
the
is.
ranking. Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm. And let's say, if someone wants to make at least 10 grand as a SEO agency or maybe SMMA. So what steps, do you suggest to, at least make 10 grand per month? I mean, it's me.
Yeah. So, like, to be honest, it's easy. Like, think about it like this, right? Think about it truly like
Uh-huh.
this. You've got all these basketball players, NBA
Mhm.
players, rugby players, all this. Like, they're not all the most handsome blokes. Yeah, if you were to open the floodgates, all the Sheilas are just going to come running in. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to be like, why are all these Sheilas after this guy who's like, looks like a hat full of assholes? Like he's ugly
Mhm.
as. It's because he's really good at what he does. And there's a lot of other men out there that can't be as good as him. So, and that's exactly how business owners need to think about things. So it's like, okay, I want to make 10 grand. How do I make the 10 grand when it comes to the PPC side of it? Be the best. Like, so you've got to try and be like, okay, so what needs to be done to become the best? Well, I need to be able to get better returns than everyone else out there. So, what are
Mhm.
the better returns? Okay, cool. I've achieved that now. Now I'll go and show it. Like what I did with like their keyword terms. It's like, I ranked for him. So then I went and showed it. Like that's how we connected, like obviously through Owen, business partner in this, is because what he was able to find me appealing about me was because he was like, this guy's actually ranking for key terms. So every other SEO is like, yeah, so this is how you rank, but they're not showing any examples. And that was the biggest thing. It's like, as long as you can sit there and show, I'm the rugby player, I'm the guy out on the field that's going to be able to win the
Mhm.
game for the team. That's how you'll generate the 10 grand. That's how everyone will be attracted to you. If you sit there and just be like the bystander in the crowd who criticizes the footy player as an example when they make a mistake, it's like, that's all well and good, champ, but you're not out on the field. And that's the biggest
Mhm.
thing. You have to be the best out on the field. You have to work the hardest. You have to be the smartest. And as long as you do that by any means, I'm not saying do anything unethically because, like that's haram. You shouldn't be doing anything against the will of God. That's definitely not a good thing. But just by
Mhm.
being the best that you can be in a field, showcasing that you were the best and you are the best, and then that's how
Mhm.
you can translate that value across to people, and they'll gravitate towards you naturally. It's just happened. It's the law of nature.
Mhm. Yeah, got it. So yeah, you have a like large YouTube following. So how has building a personal brand through content creation your agency? I mean, in short, how has YouTube impact your business, so
Yeah, it's
far?
been good. It's been good. So to be complete, I remember I think it was like Chrissy Palmer, and there was a couple of other guys. I think they were all like, "Oh no, we built a personal brand," and this was about 2 years ago, right
Mm-hmm.
when ChatGPT was coming out, and we're seeing how effective it was. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
saying, like, personal brand's the only thing going forward, lads. Like, it's not, get this, the days of brands, quite unquote, they're out, they're gone, they're going. So if you're not a huge enterprise, you're in trouble. So you've either got
Mm-hmm.
to be very small, fast, nimble, can adapt very quickly, or so big that the Wall Street banks will come and bail you out. They're your two options. The middle ground is going to get absolutely decimated. So by having a personal brand, you're able to protect yourself and all of your interests. So it's a lot better. As we see all this connectivity across all platforms now as well, that's extremely important. That was never once there. So being able to link everything into an individual is so much more powerful. And you're starting to build, I'd hate to say it, but essentially what we're seeing in the world now is a lot of
Mm-hmm.
tribalism. There is a lot of,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just because truly, like, well, I'm in the apartment now. There's no boys around me. I can't muck around, chat with the lads. Like those things are kind of going. So people are starting to gravitate towards people a lot more. And when they find individuals that they resonate with, it's a lot easier to connect with. And you, as your own brand, as long as you're genuine and you look after those people, it's like building a family. It's a lot better.
Yeah.
It's going to sustain you a lot more compared to just being that
Mm-hmm.
stupid old image of, oh, I'm a big, strong brand. No one likes that anymore because everyone knows that big brands are just in it for money. And if you act like a big brand and act like everyone's just a cash pot to you, then it's not going to work in the future. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Mm. Yeah, it's good. It's good. And then, like, like what types of content, like do you suggest to make, like to get some agency clients? Let's say, for my YouTube channel, so I just make Google ad content. And what types of content like, do you think so that I need to make to attract some agency clients or maybe, like real business owners? Basically, my content plan is, to let's say, the walkthrough video, like a step-by-step guide, how you can set up the Google Ads, like these kind of things, and what types of mistakes people often make on Google Ads, like some general stuff. And I am thinking, to make some, videos on, let's say, Google Ad for plumbers, something like this, right? And on that video, I will show how a plumber can set up a Google Ad campaign from scratch, keyword research, landing page, everything. So do you think this is a good plan to, make this kind of content to get some clients from YouTube?
I think it is, but the biggest thing for me, like if you wanted things quicker, like the main thing is
Mm-hmm.
just showcasing a lot of results where again you can be talked about because there's no disputing, brother. Like if you sit here, if we think about it like this, right? If you're trying to elude me over to your services,
Mm-hmm.
what's going to get me over there? Well, me making more money is going to bring me over. You know what I mean? Like it's me making more money. So as an SEO, I want to see that I'm going to make more money and my life's not going to be harder working with you. So as soon as you can quantify, it's like, hey guys, SEOs, this is why you're leaving. I don't know, let's just say maybe 5, 10 grand a month on the table because you're not able to offer Google Ads. That is something where you get to capitalize on. So you can walk through. It's like, hey, and then again, we get to list off all the points that we mentioned today in the video. It's like, hey, well, if you run Google Ads, we can get the clients leads. Because some clients are just like, no, this is unacceptable. 3 months where we're not a good
Mm-hmm.
team. Okay. Like that happens. That happens a lot. Like a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people aren't comfortable to sit there and be like, yeah, I can maybe get you leads. They're like, yeah, man, let's work together. That doesn't work with everyone. So if you can partner up with someone, say, listen, SEO, you're losing out because of this, you're losing out because of this. I've got a super reliable setup and system in place that will make sure that if we work together, we're both going to get results. The biggest thing that I find in this industry, like maybe it's just SEO. I'm hoping it's SEO because I asked Owen about this. Some of the guys are dramatic. Like they don't like partnerships. They don't like helping one another. They don't like any synergistic approaches, which is weird for
Mm-hmm.
me. Like I get it when we're like early 20s, but most of them are older than me. Like I'm 32 and most of them are older than me and they have problems with partnerships. It's weird. Like it's like they want to see you fail. So there's a lot of, I don't know, maybe just there's not a lot of backbone in this industry. And I think that's something that is going to be a challenge for you. A lot of them sit there and think,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just do this on my own. Like I don't need a business partner, where I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, business partner, yep, you're good. I'm terrible at this. You're great at that. Works. Let's do it. Let's partner up. And that's what I think you need to emphasize a lot is you're not doing well here, but you're doing well here. Let's come together and try and make something special. That's what I'd
Yeah.
be trying to emphasize. Not just the dollars, always the why too. So make sure you're
Mm-hmm.
incorporating why you're doing something. So that always helps the pill to go down a lot easier too. If someone's like I was literally chatting with a mate the other day about Anthony, shout out to you, brother. He was looking at moving something around. Let's just put it that way. And the thing that I was explaining to him is he needs to give the people the why. Like there has to be a why. So even though he can pitch all of these benefits and monetary values and be like, here, this is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to save. This is how you're going to benefit. If he doesn't actually say why I'm doing something as well, they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, like, why is he doing it? It's just human nature. We always ask for a why. So that's something to focus on too, my friend, is like, are you trying to grow businesses? Are you trying to help like do more for yourself? And when you make it that little bit more personal, you get to connect better with people. It's no longer just like businesses, relationships is the same as a marriage. I look at a business as the same as a marriage. It's going to be ups, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be downs, pros and cons. But at the end of the day, once you do come together and you have a solid understanding, man, there can be something beautiful there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got it. So yeah, so basically you're suggesting to, like partner up with some agency owners or something, like SEO agency owners, and just partner up with them. And, like, yeah, this is kind of things what I typically do. I have, like, in my like Facebook, or, including WhatsApp, everything. So I have couple of agency owners, like good connection with them, kind of friendship, you can say. So yeah, what I typically do actually, like, and then there are a couple of agents, like I set up the Google Ads for free to help them. I'm not trying to sell anything to them. just for free, like trying to help them actually. Like, this is like, I believe that, if you help someone's truly, so probably you will get, like in return, you will get probably, like 2x or 3x, you know and I believe on Allah actually, like, he will give us, in terms of reward actually, so yeah, I don't hesitate to, help people if they need any real help, even though I audited lots of accounts for free. Even though I never, like pitch the clients to sell my services or something. And I help lots of people as well, and in my country as well, like there are like lots of people, they want to learn Google Ads, and I gave them lots of, directions how they can learn Google Ads, and especially if they find any types of clients. And I hopped on a client actually, this is not my client, this is their clients actually. I hopped on a client, and I tried to explain the clients what types of services they provide, like on behalf of them. So yeah, I think, helping people's, this is the real, like, I mean, I can say it's a, like, if you help someone's, there should be like lots of, benefit you can get in near future. So yeah, I think,
Main thing is
this is a
too,
good sense.
on like the main thing I'd stress on that too, brother, is like
Mhm.
doing charity, obviously, like it's
Mhm.
a big part of our life as Muslims. It's a big part.
Yeah.
But the main thing is too, is not worrying about if it comes back to you, like the good
Yeah.
deeds are the way I'd look at it, but that doesn't mean that we sacrifice ourselves on the altar, so to speak. So I
Mhm.
do think like if you've got to do whatever you've got to do to get, to get bread on the table, if that is doing a ton of free audits so you get one thing back in return, so be
Mhm.
it. Like I've done heaps of charity work, and I
Mhm.
always will. Because, and this is even before I reverted, to be
Yeah.
completely honest. Like, dude, there's thousands and thousands of dollars we used to put towards things. It
Mhm.
was nuts. So yeah, it was a lot of money, but that's just
Mhm.
how I am. And at the end of the day, I think if you do good deeds, good things will come back to you. Not to make it like a godly sort of chat podcast, but I think it is important that you still have to approach things in the manner it's like, I have to go through the hard stuff to get the end
Mhm.
results, but at the same time, be very, very cautious that you're not just doing it for like the hope that something's going to come there. There has to be that clear. It's like, and don't be afraid to ask people. Like this is a big thing that I stress to people too, is don't be afraid. Like if you say, hey, look, I see that let's just say you're talking with an SEO. Oh, mate, I'm willing to run a free audit on your things because I believe that we could bring in additional revenue if PPC is going to be right for them. It's going to give
Mhm.
you more money. It's going to give me more money. But what I'm going to be asking in return is that you do this. It's a straight upfront thing. There's no like hidden,
Yeah.
you're not
Mhm.
activating the
Mhm.
reciprocity rule. There's none of that, like where people feel guilty about things. Like that's something that I try to stress to avoid. It's just like be upfront, be honest, be like, I believe that there's an opportunity here for us both. Let me have a look. If there is an opportunity, I want to come in on that opportunity. Are you cool with that? You pitch something like that to me, I'm going to be like, yeah, what's the harm in the look then? Because if we're both going to win from this opportunity, let's go nuts. And if you're working with guys that aren't down for business opportunities, then run away. Run away. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. So if you want to say anything, yeah, feel free to add actually.
No, that was awesome, Kat. Thank you very, very much, mate. I appreciate that. I hope all the viewers
Mhm.
get a lot out of this. All I would say is that
Mhm.
Kat's video, make sure you guys share it around, like, comment. That'll be swell. You'll help us out a bunch, and we appreciate that.
Yeah. Yep. So this is our ending. So that's all for now. Have a great day. Bye bye. I will see you on the next lesson.